Drag. Ladies and gentlemen, we were dragging. And I'll explain I'll go through the whole thing first. We were here, we caught this, pulled him in, tried to catch his back, tried to come around the side, but none of it was happening, right? And he's trying to get away from me, and I'm trying to go supine, and then I dumped him over, right? So we reversed him over. Upon landing, I kept behind the tricep line and the deltoid line. I'm only letting him go this way. I don't lift my head up behind here, okay? This hand right now is on the outside. I'm going to loop it underneath and grab his back of his neck and then bring him back the other way. So I'm going to look to take his back. Right now, I haven't scored. He's got my foot. I want to advance to see if I can throw my other hook in. So when I landed, I was like this. I take top hand. I lace it underneath, and I look for his neckline. So now you see me here. It's a good position to be in because if he goes flat, I have this choke here, okay? But we're going to say that he stayed on this line, so I come really high up, as high up on the turn, because I'm going to try to capture that bottom hand on the turn later. So when I pull through on this point, when we're pulling back to bring him back, I'm going to take this leg, the one that I'm dangling, and throw it on his chest. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to try to have the goal of putting my heel in the center line of his chest. Now we're just looking like this, right? His arm's on this side. At this point, when we were here, my hand's on his neckline. The only thing I care about is this elbow. So I'm not going to ride a wrist ride or anything. All I cared about is lifting this elbow up over his head. And now when both of them over his head, he's going to have a problem that most times they'll tap on you from this. But my feet are in the center now. I don't know if he's going to go left or right. I have no idea. So I'm going to keep it super simple this way. I'm just going to take this leg out. Oh, sorry, kiddo. Yeah. Yeah. I get super tight, guys. So sometimes this is the reason why I say it. Sometimes he may go this way, so my triangle might end up the other way. Don't feel like you're stuck one way. I don't know which way he's going to roll. I've never met this guy. I don't know if he's going to come this way. I don't know if he's going to try and pull back on me. I don't know if he's going to try to get a Y wedge under this Achilles. I have no idea how it's going to play out after this. Only thing I had was my leg sitting on the center of your chest. The problem, some people might say, why don't you isolate the arm? I definitely could. Like, I could isolate the arm, drop him, and see if I can come over the top. But there's some issues going on with that, in that he might grab this Achilles as I pull down, and now I'm open on this portion that he starts coming up and coming down the center or trying to get me with hooking my foot between his legs. Like, so there's some issues going on at this point. This is where we were, right? And the second thing is if I do isolate the arm, I can't get to the neckline because he's sitting so low on me, right? So all I cared about was this elbow. I start bringing myself up above him and just bridging hard. All I'm going to ask you to do is figure 4 your legs. And now we have this arm either to bury behind us. If I have the necklines and the arteries, a lot of times I can choke them from that point. Okay, so let's go through it again. All right, so nothing hard. Just get comfortable with the transition points because that transition point is going to be there a lot of times when you're on somebody's back trying to choke them out. You're here, pretty simple. I lace through, I pull hard. Now we're right here. I grab onto his lat. As we go underneath him to pick him up, remember what I said, I'm never going to lose position behind this tricep line. So I've caught this lat muscle. I don't try to lift him from here, okay? I try to put him on top of me. If I try to lift him from here, it takes a lot of strength. If I can get him on top of me, he's light as a feather. So I suck myself in. So now Ethan becomes light as a feather to do anything I want to him, okay? So I don't try to pick him up from that point. As I'm coming over, I'm dropping one leg and staying behind his tricep. So he can only go this way. I take my outside hand and I look for his neck because I would love to score. Now I have a great grip and I have potential choke here if he goes back the other way, or potentially I might be able to transition it, but depending on the person, that I can finish it from here if they don't move left or right. But I'm going to say he's a good player, right? So I've caught onto the back of the neck. Leg is going to slide high and drop bottom hand when I bring him over. So my first shot goes to base and come back high. Because as I'm pulling over, I'm putting my leg on his chest. And now my only goal is to lift his elbow up over his head. So I don't need anything else. My legs are sitting perfect. I have one leg out of the equation. I start pulling up over his head. Now my legs can go left or right. Because they're situated in this way, Nathan hasn't moved, I'm just going to figure 4 and lock them. Now I can either finish on the choke or finish the arm. I can bury it behind me. I can start going into a Kimura with it. A bunch of different things on it. So let's part up and do it. Nothing hard. Start getting into the pattern of the sequencing. Let's do it. Happens all the time. Right? Actually, I want to just make some point something out because there were a few people doing this. When you bring them over, right? Let me have it bring you over. Let me go back to. When you bring them over on the arm drag, you were here, you brought them over, you grabbed them, you threw them over, right? And you landed with them, right? This hand loops underneath, right? Because I don't, what if he goes that way? And now I'm like on top and he's coming this, go the other way. I'm like this and I don't have hooks and now I have no real control. Maybe I get the neck, maybe I don't. But I haven't secured my hook in and now I have no real control. I do want to isolate, like, what's the idea of like isolating quadrants? Like, I wanted to command the quadrant, right? So I come underneath. Can you do it? You'll see kids do it all the time. They'll lock up a rear naked and the bottom player taps. I get it. There's no hooks. Yeah, okay. Show me at the highest level. It's like one in 100, and I'm not even. I'm going to say 1 in 2,000 at high levels. High levels, like no hooks, like no hooks. Just like you better be so dead on. Now let me have your back. So I see some people zone out on me because they say to themselves, "I'll never do this. Like I'm never gonna. I don't have mobility. I don't have the flexibility to come around. I don't really arm drag like that. It's not part of my game." But I always tell you, like the game's disguised in different manners. And then if you, I'm like a real, I just want to call you out for what you are. Like you just don't see game. You don't see the game with any vision. You're just like, well, I don't really do this. It's already there in so many other positions. Why don't you take command of it and absorb it? You're like this at this point, and you're on somebody's back here. And now, isn't this the same thing? I'm here trying to choke, and this guy's trying to hold on, keeps ripping my hand down, and I go, okay, it's the same position, right? And now all I was doing was trying to choke this guy out, but he wouldn't let me, right? Every time we were sitting here like this, and I'm over here going, and he keeps ripping my hand down, and I'm like here trying to get under his neck, and so I grab onto him or he pulls my hand. I don't care what he does. All I did was cover my wrist with my Achilles tendon, and now I ripped my hand down. This is the position we're in. And what did I say at this point? Like, he's got a choice. He can stay here, and now I start coming on his neck, but he starts sliding down on me. No, sir. Right? Yeah, he starts sliding down on me. And now I got an issue that I can't get to his neck because he just dropped too low. And now this is the same position. I'm here. I'm extending this arm over my head. I'm planking my legs. I'm locking up. And now we're going to finish this arm left and right. So it's the same position, right? So if you feel like you don't need to drill it, I don't ever see you. I don't ever see you do rear naked chokes. Yeah, I understand now why, right? So true, right? So we go left and right? You can do the first one and the second one. Get the position, right? Start learning how to bury your hand. Start learning how to cover your own hands with your Achilles tendon. Now, have a second. Let me tell you this one. You're here, you're here. And I'm trying to get under this guy's leg. He keeps ripping my hand down. And all I'm doing is I'm not worried about putting my foot inside the crease of his elbow. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just covering my hand. And now I've covered my hand, my wrist with my Achilles tendon. And now I'm going, okay, now I'm starting to take command of him. Now I'm starting to isolate him. Now I'm starting to come up over the top and start isolating the whole truth. Okay, go. Right? So, partner, have some vision. Don't run through the move. Understand like why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, you can go left and right. You can do the arm drag to the position. If you bring them over, I personally like to be very specific, and when I'm drilling, that I have conscious contact, and I give credit to Steve Maraboli because he told me that line, to have conscious contact in the positions that I need to control. When you bring them over, some people are raising their body lines up, right? You're like this at this point, I bring them over when I'm here. Oh yeah, Liam, I'm here the whole time. My head's never left. I'm taking command of the whole time. I'm not letting this deltoid go. I don't mind if you go that way because I'll get you on the hook over here. But I'm not letting, and now I see people run through the move like this, going, like, you already lost the move. You shouldn't even drill. You should drill whatever you like to do, right? That's what you should do, right? So have conscious contact in the things that are important to control. Sometimes the window of opportunity is a quarter second, and if you're off, yeah, it's going to kill your shoulder, right? Yeah. Because it's going to kill his shoulder, right? And now I've done everything right. Come like this and put this up. And now I see some people taking this hand, and look where this hand is. They go reach like this, and they think that they're going to move this up here. I had one goal, was to get his elbow in the center of his spine. So why would I take this hand and reach over here to his wrist? I reach to his elbow because I want to start cranking this thing up. And now I want to drop this grip because this grip doesn't do anything. This grip's over here, right? I got this thing, and now butterfly, and now I'm like this with this double, and now I'm putting this thing behind his head, and I'm going, okay, now I got you, right? This is what I wanted, right? But if I'm over here gripping, and I'm here gripping, and now I take this hand, put it over here, and this is what I wanted. And now this has all this articulation, and I don't know how he moves, but I had no vision, no focus, and like, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to put this arm over his head like this so I can isolate, choke him out, or break this arm behind my back. I don't know how it's going to play out yet. I don't know how it's going to turn. But I can't go, I tell that stupid story about like, if a car breaks down, and I get out of the car and say, Danny, help me. And I go, you push me while I push the car. Like, you would go, what are these guys doing? Like, and that's what that is. It's like you're grabbing something that's so pointless and that it rotates this way and that way. And I got this hand so deep in this pocket this way. Like, no, man, this hand's going, I caught this thing. And now I want this thing over your head and I'm yanking it. And once it gets here, I don't need this grip. I start putting flat. And now the only thing I own is this elbow. That's all I wanted to own. Because I want to put it so far behind your back. He's got good shoulder rotation. If I tell you a funny story, he got caught in a Kimura at Worlds last year that I was screaming tap, and he didn't tap. It was so far behind his back, it was sticking out here. He got out and won the fight. Yeah, yeah. And I was yelling, "Oh my God, please tap, man!" And but to his credit, you could see why his shoulders are really flexible. Let's get rolling, or we'll recapture it on we'll do some more rear naked stuff. 2-minute break. Want to grab coffee, anything? Jimbo's going to play some music, and we'll have some fun. Let's do it.